Huh? Nah. Okay. Yeah, and then you seen them other folks who
Yeah, I feel like
microphone check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2. right, okay, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Shabbat Shalom. We're gonna get things started here. Okay. Stand by. I gotta figure out why this is. I know what I need to do. I see what the problem is. There we go. Okay, that's why I had an echo. Yeah, I was trying to figure that out. Okay. All right, so we got it all sorted out. We're gonna get things started here soon. We're gonna go through current events. Got a real good lesson that I've worked on for a couple weeks now. I've been planning on doing it, and but yeah, I got it all together. It's gonna be real informative on these technologies that are getting ready to come out, and it's gonna blow your mind. Got some good current events and everything like that, so I'm gonna get it set up for that. Okay. I will get it set up for current events. Switch my screen. Get that up. All right. So yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get started. We're gonna get started with current events. And the first story we have here is we'll go to the actual news page. It says viral video of officer slamming black girl sparks outrage. And basically, because there's a couple things to be learned from this whole story. We'll watch the video first, though, so I'll start the video. I don't think there's any sound to it. But they're showing it again. Yeah, knocked her out. Yep. And there's one more. Wham. Okay. So basically, the story to that video is the girl came to school with a can of mace. I guess she said she was being bullied or something like that. And they told her she was gonna, she's gonna end up going home, being suspended or whatever. And they called the cops to escort her home from school. And I guess while he was escorting her, she kind of put up a little struggle. And of course, as we got some other stories about cops, but you're gonna see why this cop reacted the way they do, because, and the short of the story is, they don't care about you. And like I said, my stance on dealing with these cops. Comply or die. You're gonna see that these people don't care about you. Majority of them, almost all these cops, they're trained to not care about you. They brainwash them a certain way. So, and a lot of our people aren't educated, and they don't realize that they're in a life or death situation when they're dealing with these cops. And if you could go, this video's on the Jacksonville, Florida Hebrew Israelites group. It's on there. You could watch it again. You'll see when she gets slammed to the ground, she's knocked out because her legs ain't moving. You know what I'm saying? She's all right. She only had a couple scrapes, but she had a concussion too because he slammed her on the ground. And they don't do this to their own people, because you could go watch plenty of videos of them, of white women. I seen a video of a white woman. She almost ran the cops over with a car. She was in the car looked like she was reaching for a gun and doing all this stuff, and she made it out of there unscathed. but they got a different mindset for you, and you gotta. Our people don't see this; they're brainwashed with that. Hey, we're all equal thing, and folks end up, they realize they're not equal when they're getting power slammed on the ground, but it's too late then. Okay, just like that video I showed you last week. But we got some more stuff that's gonna back up what I just said. Okay. All right, this is another interesting one on taxes. All right, check this out. Basically, what this video is saying is this guy, I'll play it again. For some reason, it's doing what it wants today. Anyway, just to explain, with this man, what he found, he went through the tax law, and he found in the tax law there is nothing in there justifying. Okay, I'm not gonna play this because it's acting up. But what he found is there's nothing in there backing up them income tax, them taking tax out of your paycheck. There's nothing in the tax law that justifies that. And it says the Freedom Law School is now offering $300,000 to anyone who can find the law that justifies income tax. And it's just, the reason I put in there is just another thing just backing up how wicked this empire is. They've been robbing people for years in that way. That's just one of the ways. You work for the IRS, and the IRS is not even part of the government. It's like a private business ran by rich bankers, basically. But that's a whole nother story. This is another one I came across. It says unapologetically white flyers posted in Minnesota City. And what happened, they've been posting these flyers unapologetically white. And what that is like this far right kind of white supremacist group. And they've been posting them around the city. We're here in Jacksonville. And we've seen in the news a couple months, and it happened again another time about a year ago. They were posting KKK flyers around here. You know what I'm saying? Again, we are not in any type of post-racial society. Don't let your guard down and get fooled. I know Martin Luther King Day just passed, and they say, hey, we all equal and all that crap. Don't get sucked in. You know what I'm saying? Racism is alive and well. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah. And in this here, I'll go ahead and play this. I don't know why it goes to the other page.
Tony anniversary. So this strikes me particularly close to home. Bank of America, bank I've been banking with, I guess, since I was 17 years old. My father walked me down to the branch on Avalon and El Segundo, and I opened my checking account, and I've had it since then. And I've had a lot of questions to like, they haven't had the best reputation, particularly when it comes to giving home loans to black people and to serving the black community. I remember years ago I applied for a credit card at Bank of America, and they denied me. And then I wrote back and told them how much on the very application they denied me on. And I wrote back and gave them how long I'd been there and how much money I had in my account and how much, and how I would assume that there was another reason they didn't give me a credit card, and I would make a lot of noise about it. 2 weeks later, I got a credit card, which I still have right now. So there was no reason for them to have turned me down, yet they did. Now, to add insult to injury, in addition to the way that they acted during the mortgage crisis, purchasing other banks and then using those banks so they could buy bail money, before they can use the bailout money. Now Bank of America, and charging you fees for all kind of stuff. You can have an e-banking account, and if you just if you use it, online, it's fine. But if you go into the bank, they want to charge you $12. They seem to be doing anything that they can do to not have to make contact with a customer. Now, further adding insult to injury, is that if you don't maintain a balance of at least $1,500 in your daily checking account, or a $250 direct deposit, they're going to charge you $12. Now, this is particularly egregious for low-income people. What is the fixation that corporations and a lot of our politicians have with punishing you for being poor? What is the notion that you should pay more? You know, to be poor in America is so expensive, you have to be rich to do it. Charging you $12 because you can't maintain a $1,500 balance in your account is insane. If I could maintain a $1,500 balance, then I'd be a lot happier. I would happen. Why would you pay 12? Why would you need to pay anybody anything to keep money in their bank? And why is it that we attack the poor like they've done something wrong? You know, every time I turn around, we're talking about.
Yeah, we're not going to watch the whole video, but like I said, it's in the group, but just showing how these companies are. And I'll be honest, like I've noticed Walmarts, if you got a Walmart in a real good area and then a Walmart in a bad area, the prices are better in a more upscale Walmart. You know what I'm saying? Because I've noticed that, you know, so it's like this is a brutal empire, man. The oppression, you know, it's just, you know, I'm just trying, it's just keeping people aware so they don't let their guard down that, you know, the oppression's real. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you could watch that whole video. It's on there. And D.L. Hughley, you know, he not in the truth, but he does make an effort. He does speak out, you know, so I could rock with that. You know what I'm saying? This is just a good post. It makes a lot of sense, and I don't think people get this. Marriage is the key to economics. And to take that even further, one of the main purposes of marriage is economics. You know what I'm saying? That's a big point. Like I said, normally I'm teaching on relationships and marriage and stuff like that. I'm not doing it this week, but I could do a whole lecture on this right here and get deep into it, because in America and in this Greco-Roman beast system that we live in, they say marriage is just an emotional thing about how you feel emotionally about somebody. Nah, there's more goes into it than that. You know what I'm saying? And the purpose of it. Because over here, they're like, oh, if you don't feel good about them emotionally, then you need to just divorce them and ruin the whole family and the kids and everybody around you. You know, that's what they teach here in this society.
They tell us too, like you say, it's emotional, but
All right. Yeah, because
Donnie.
yeah. But all right, so we got another video here. Debrew put all right, Debrew posted this one. This is a good video.
Former assistant police chief tells an LMPD recruit to, quote, shoot black people.
WDRB's Katrina Helmer tonight explains how the disturbing Facebook messages came to light and why the officer wasn't fired right away. Katrina.
These messages are graphic, racist, and sexual, but Prospect's mayor says he had to follow the Policeman Bill of Rights before taking any action. Dark, secret words uncovered.
Probably the most disgusting thing I've seen come out of the mouth of a police officer.
While looking into another criminal investigation, Jefferson County Attorney Mike O'Connell discovered these private Facebook messages between now former Assistant Police Chief of Prospect Todd Shaw and an LMPD recruit. A meme shows Elmer Fudd with a gun and an offensive sign. Another shows a boy with a disability wearing a shirt with a racial slur.
Anyone who shares such blatant racist views should not be given a badge or a gun.
In another message, the recruit asks what to do if he catches juveniles smoking marijuana. Shaw responds, F the right thing. If black, shoot them. Then Shaw suggests having sex with the juvenile's parents. Unless daddy is black, then shoot him.
How could anybody say these things?
The Prospect Police Department hired Shaw, a former LMPD officer, in 2012.
He had a clean record.
Then, August 31st of last year, the Jefferson County Attorney sent Prospect Mayor John Evans this letter, including parts of the Facebook messages.
And I was shocked.
Evans immediately told the Prospect police chief, who put Shaw on paid suspension for nearly 3 months while he investigated the Facebook messages.
Oh, he had to take time because there was a lot of material to go through.
Then November 20th, the police chief had an interview with Shaw, and that's when Shaw resigned.
Why wasn't he fired as soon as you guys found out?
Because the law doesn't work that way.
Mayor Evans says he knew Shaw.
My only impression of Todd was that he was a bit of a character.
But the mayor says there was nothing to give him any inclination Shaw would...
So, again, this goes right back. You're wondering why that girl got slammed. This is their mindset. This is why I tell you, when you're out in the way with them and you out there and they pull you over, comply or die. Because you think they just... People, I'm sure people, well, oh, they're not all like that. But that goes back to, if there's a pit of snakes, are you going to jump in it? Because some of them aren't poisonous. You know what I'm saying? Like if you see a snake, are you going to test it? Because some of them snakes are poisonous. Comply or die. Do what they say and then file a complaint against them. Because I'm telling you, these people do not like you. Why you think they're shooting people in the back 8 times? And this backs up the mindset.
And that's their motto. Like
Yeah.
you said, comply or die, that's exactly what they go by.
Exactly.
That's what they go by.
So you got to be careful out there, man. These people will kill you. Okay, the reason I put this up here, it says judge sentences Larry Nassar or whatever to 175 years and all that. This guy was a doctor, and what he was doing is molesting the people the girls who jump around and flip, gymnastic girls. He was molesting them on their physicals. And when I was reading this on another article, and this ain't the only one. Like the gymnastic coaches be molesting them girls. And the reason I put it in here is because don't have your kids in gymnastics. You got a little girl jumped around in a swimsuit outfit around a perv. That's all you got. That's some gymnastics. That's a Roman, Latin, Greek term. And you know they freaks and they ain't all that. You shouldn't even have your kid out there doing that. You know what I'm saying? And I know the kids be wanting to do that, but don't. Because, these pervs is out there, man. Folks' minds is blown. And that judge gave that dude 175 years, and that dude didn't even flinch. So, but he gonna flinch when he get in there in the cell with Bubba. He'll be flinching. All right. We recently, ISUPK, they're here in Jacksonville. I reached out, I talked to them because that's part of the purpose of this group. It's just so Hebrew Israelite groups in Jacksonville can begin to kind of, my big thing is trying to get us out of this gang mentality and just get us vibing together, working together on some type of level. Eventually I'm going to reach out to this brother and like I'm an auto mechanic, so I'm going to just see, hey, if y'all need any work, whatever, there's going to be a discount price, everything like that. Just doing what we can to help each other out. But another interesting thing about ISUPK, I watched Brother Tazariak's radio show last night. The FBI, you heard about that? The FBI tried to infiltrate ISUPK. They tried to get one of their recruits or a person who had just joined there. The dude had came out of the Navy, and then he had joined the ISUPK, and the FBI had been watching him, and they approached him and was asking him if he'd be an informant and infiltrate some other groups for him. And the brother, because this ain't Black Panthers or one of these other silly movements. This thing is driven by God's word. So COINTELPRO and the FBI ain't going to take this one down. And they're going to slowly begin to realize it. But anyway, the brother went on there. He was on there too. And Tazariak interviewed him. He's one of the members of ISUPK. And he was just putting it out there, what they said, how they approached him, how much they knew about him already in detail. So just know, you know what I'm saying? They're watching people. They're watching you. Especially if you affiliated with the government, got something to do with that. Because that's why they were watching him. So, but yeah, that's big. That's a big thing. You know what I'm saying? And they wanted to know about Tazariak because they said, I guess Tazariak is probably the most popular one in ISUPK, even over the generals that are over him, just because, you know, the way the exposure he's had. He was up there in Harlem and stuff like that. So you're going to get a lot of exposure because a lot of the black conscious movement, stuff like that's up there. So that was who they really want to know about. And they also asked about, they want to infiltrate IUIC. So this thing's real. And we big time now. But you're going to see that it's not going to work against this movement. This ain't Black Panthers and all that stuff like that. This is this movement's based on a book that everybody got in their house, and that's God's word. So yeah. So yeah, and this is the title of the lesson we're going to do. But with that said, that concludes our current events. So yeah, that concludes current events. Okay, and what I'm going to do is get it set up real quick for the lesson. I get the lesson pulled up. So all right, let me turn that down. Presentation. Okay. Okay. Okay, and the title of today's lesson is End Time Technology Revolution. Okay, and the reason I did this is because I just realized that, because I did a lesson like this maybe 5 years ago, and it's funny because the stuff I put in there is beginning to happen now. We are right on the cusp. We are right on the edge of a technology revolution that nothing is unrivaled. Like, it's what's getting ready to happen with these technologies that are beginning to hit right now. It's going to change things like nothing has ever changed before. It's going to be a bigger change than when electricity came, or the bigger change than the Industrial Revolution, or bigger change than us discovering fire. Is a bigger revolution than that. And the thing that really drove me to do this is the fact that, like, I can a lot of times I can see where things are going, but the stuff that's going to be able to come about with this, it's beyond my imagination. Okay? And and of course it lines up with the word. The only way this thing can play out is the end of the world. Like, if God didn't come back. And you're going to see. And what you're going to find, it has already started. What you're going to see in this video is that I'm not saying any hearsay or any guess or any conspiracy theory stuff at all. All this stuff is in motion now. It has begun to happen now. Okay? So, and for a lot of people, it's going to be some pretty mind-blowing stuff if you're not really into technology. Me, I am. So, you know, I like to look at what's coming and what's around the corner and stuff like that. So let's get started with it. This is the stuff we're going to talk about. These are the technologies we're going to talk about. I don't know if everybody's heard of all these. I'm sure you've heard of some of them. 5G. I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about robotics. genetic engineering. I'm sure you heard that before. VR and AR, so that's virtual reality and augmented reality. EEG, BCI, quantum computing, AI, and then the singularity. And we're going to go into all that, so don't be intimidated. So what I'm going to show you now is what's happening now, the latest stuff that's happening right now. So what I'm going to do is start this video and just kind of bring you up to speed on where things are going fast.
4 years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple. Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So, how does it work? We used computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion, much like you'd find in self-driving cars. We call it Just Walk Out technology. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app, and you can keep going. Amazon Go.
Okay, so that's right now. They just opened the first Amazon Go store a couple days ago somewhere, and that is the future. There won't be any more cashiers or anything like that. Okay, this is Pizza Hut. It says, here's an autonomous pizza oven on wheels. No one asked for. It says Pizza Hut and Toyota team up to make self-driving delivery truck. Okay, there won't be any more pizza delivery. Self-driving cars are, this year, you're going to begin to see them hit hard. If you have a child below the age of 15 or 14, you will never have to teach them to drive. They won't be teaching them how to drive. By the time they're old enough to drive, there'll be self-driving cars and there'll be no need. Okay? And this is now. This is happening this year. Okay? Here's something else big.
Life today is busier than ever. You have a lot to get done and often don't have enough time to squeeze it all in. What if you didn't feel like you had to be in 2 places at once to get everything done? Walmart just may have a solution. It's a new concept we're testing with companies like August Home. The idea is you can choose to receive orders from Walmart.com, not just to your door and left on the front porch, but securely inside your home. If you're not home, rather than leaving the package on the front porch, the driver enters a one-time use code using the August Home app. You're alerted the moment the driver enters the code into the keypad, and can even watch the delivery as it happens through home security cameras. At Walmart, we're testing all kinds of new ways to make shopping faster and more convenient, so you don't have to be in 2 places at once. We're moving fast to find more ways to save you time and money because, well, you have a lot to get done.
So, and I didn't really put a whole bunch of stuff about this, but just to tell you quickly, television and shopping are going to be a thing of the past. Pretty soon, you're not going to be going in stores to really get anything anyway. That is a thing of the past. This smart lock thing, you're right. My wife's saying, heck no, yeah, I ain't letting no cracker just wander up in my house and all that stuff like that. You know, that it ain't going down. But I think what Walmart's going to end up doing is they're going to mount a box outside your house where they come up and put it in this box or or some hole in your garage or whatever.
Yeah, and the thing about that, like you say, Walmart gonna do that. But once that technology out there, anybody gonna be able to try to hack it.
Hack it.
Other people gonna start.
Always do.
You know what I'm saying?
Get right up
That's
in your house.
Danger.
Yeah.
Outside of Walmart, you know.
And yeah, and that's with a lot of technology out there.
I think ultimately, you know, all this is going towards getting chipped, so they know.
Oh,
in your house,
we're gonna get in. Oh,
who kidnapped you?
Yeah, we're gonna get into all that. We're gonna get into all that. That's all in here. We're gonna get into all that. Okay, so this is self-driving cars. It says GM's latest car gives up steering wheels, pedals, and human control. This car is coming out this year. Okay, self-driving cars are here. Okay, it's like when and I'm just briefly showing you what's happening now. Okay, when I show you where this stuff is going, it's gonna blow your mind, because this isn't anything. I'm just getting you warmed up. But when you see what's really coming, you're gonna, stuff in Revelations and stuff in the Bible is gonna begin to make glaring, obvious sense. Okay, but yeah, that's a self-driving car, as you can see. No steering wheel, no no pedals, no nothing. Okay. All right. So what we have here, this is Genesis 11:4. It says, and they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower whose top may reach unto heaven, and let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad upon the face of the earth, upon the whole earth. Okay, and then we're going to Genesis 11, 6 through 7. It says, and the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language, and this they begin to do. And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Okay, and you're going to see later in this lesson that is what's happening now, because what's the new one language that we have now as the world? The World Wide Web, right? That's all the same language. If you want to look at some Chinese medical journals, you just have it translated. Google will translate it for you. It's all one language. Knowledge is pouring out. Okay? It says, go to, let us go down. And I'm not going to go into that, but it says, let us go down. Okay? But I won't get into all that. And there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. Because God knew where it was going to, what it was going to get to. Okay? And there's a lot of there's prophecy in the Bible that I hear a lot of mixed interpretations of. And I put a little note down there for myself. It says prophecy is obvious after its fulfillment. So a lot of prophecy in the Bible, leading up to its fulfillment, nobody knew what the heck it was. Think about Daniel. He had to pray, fast, and seek the Lord. And Yah sent down a messenger, a Malachim, to give him understanding on those prophecies, because he couldn't understand it. And then it was broken down to him. But afterwards, after it happened, then it looked more obvious. So you got a lot of people interpreting all types of stuff in Revelations. But as that time approaches, and what does God say in the book? He said, you know, be watchful. You know, because it's going to take some people by surprise, but the people who are prepared are going to see the signs.
Yeah, and it's interesting. You mentioned Daniel. I don't know if you got this one.
Uh-huh.
It said, but thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the end of time.
You see that?
Many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased.
Oh, man, I should see.
Daniel 12 and 4.
That he just read Daniel's 12 and 4. So check out Daniel's 12 and 4, because knowledge is increased. And like I said, the stuff I'm getting ready to show you, as we go into this, it's gonna freak you out. You're gonna know exactly where we are at in time, because I'm talking about a max 10 to 20 year time frame. You'll see, but let's get into it. 5G. With 5G, has everybody heard of 3G? Well, 5G starts this year. They're rolling out 5G. Basically, it's higher capacity mobile communication. Why? Well, you saw briefly why. Because you got this wireless technology. You got self-driving cars. You got crackers coming up in your house, delivering Walmart and stuff like that, and you setting it up on the phone and all that stuff like that. And you're going to see other even crazier reasons why they're going to this, why they're pushing this hard. Okay? So I got a video here just kind of briefly explaining it, so we'll watch it.
Every new generation of wireless networks delivers faster speeds and more functionality to our smartphones. 1G brought us the very first cell phones, 2G let us text for the first time, 3G brought us online, and 4G delivered the speeds that we enjoy today. But as more users come online, 4G networks have just about reached the limit of what they're capable of at a time when users want even more data for their smartphones and devices. Now we're headed toward 5G, the next generation of wireless. It will be able to handle 1,000 times more traffic than today's networks, and it'll be up to 10 times faster than 4G LTE. Just imagine downloading an HD movie in under a second, and then let your imagination run wild. 5G will be the foundation for virtual reality, autonomous driving, the Internet of Things, and stuff we can't even yet imagine. But what exactly is a 5G network? The truth is, experts can't tell us what 5G actually is, because they don't even know yet. But right now, there are 5 brand new technologies emerging as the foundation.
So what they're saying is there's 5 technologies out there that have already been proven that they can use to make the internet faster on your phone and stuff like that. It's already exists. They just got to choose which one they want to use, and they're going to choose on that this year, and they're going to roll it out. I think it's already been chosen, okay, because this video is a little old. But what it's going to do is, again, dramatically increase data and information exchange and all that stuff like that, okay? This is called a server farm. They're building a lot of these, and basically it's where they store data. You know, this is where your Facebook page is stored. All your tweets and Facebook news, whatever, is after I'm done doing this video right here that I'm doing, this is where it's going to be stored at, is on a server farm somewhere around here that most of the time they're regional, okay? And what they do, they build these things. What you see here, these things are all computers, and they with a ton of hard drives in them to store information. Okay, and as we go further into this, you're gonna see why this is being done and what's behind all this. Okay, it's crazy. It's gonna be their destruction, really. This is a picture of another server farm. These things are kept at like 60 degrees or something. So what they do, they put all this equipment in there and put like 20 air conditioning units outside and stuff like that. You see the man here, he's riding his bike through it because it's that big. Like, he's there to maintain all this. If one of the hard drives goes down, he'll go over there and fix it or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But it's called a server farm. They're massive data farms where they store information. They're storing up information. Everything about you, everything you type on there, okay? All right, so now what we're going to get into is robotics, okay? A lot of people don't realize how advanced robotics have gotten, especially in the last couple of years. Everything is accelerating, okay? So let's check out some of these robots they have out now. It's insane. That thing could probably hoop. Oh, it could jump. Hey, that mother could jump. See, that 0 point is not even. It's not even moving at that point. Like, it could hold a couple. In the snow, all terrain.
See how it's built? It's built to replace a human.
It built to run down a Negro. Thing could jump. How you gonna run from that? And that mug got ups too, because it got up off the ground. Okay? We're gonna look at another one. This one can do flips. All right. You see, have y'all seen this? Now watch this. Nope. And this is now. All right. All right. Hold on. Let me get this thing to is acting up. Of course. All right. Doing something. All right. So here's another one.
A robot dog. Yeah. Robot. Pet robo.
All right. See, those are some of the other ones, but so this is the advancement in robotics. Okay? They've come a long way, because I remember about 10 years ago or maybe 15 years ago, they were just learning how to make stuff walk. They were saying how hard it was, but now this stuff is just accelerating. Okay? And of course, they always market it as, oh, it's going to help you in the kitchen and it's going to do this, that, and the other. But this is for war. Don't get it twisted. Because Boston Dynamics works with, they work with DARPA, the Defense Advanced Research Program Association or something like that, you know? That could just as well be a gun, and it could hold it right on target while it's walking and moving. But of course, they're showing it, oh, it could clean my dishes, you know? Put stuff in the dishwasher for me. Okay? Yeah. Well, that's what this is what they're showing you that they have. Yeah. They're not telling you. Way advanced than this. They way past this. Right. Okay? They're trying to show you what you can handle. It says robots to take 50% of our jobs by 2050 and outperform humans at almost anything. This is in our lifetime. And this is going to be a lot shorter than that.
Yeah, because like you say, that's probably the max.
And yep, that's the max. Yeah. That's beyond the max because, and I'm going to show you why in this video, it's going to be way shorter than that, okay? Right here, it says Walmart is putting even more robots in its stores. Right here in Jacksonville, Florida, they have, what you see in this picture is a robot. You know what? They have people who go down the aisles and scan the products on the aisle. Well, now they got a robot that does it. And they're trying this out right here in Jacksonville at one of the Walmarts here. I don't know which one, but they have a robot there doing it. It says here, still the moves seem to be a harbinger of the retail world to come, with Amazon cutting into foot traffic at brick and mortar stores. So it's just saying people are going to begin losing their jobs. And what they're saying is, oh, yeah, no, people aren't going to lose their jobs. We're just kind of adding it in. And then when they start firing people, then they're going to say it's something else.
You're right.
Okay?
Because another thing, like you said, Walmart, they already got technology in some stores where you go in there and you got this thing on your wrist and you just go pick up what you want. You don't even got to check out because you just scan it with your wrist.
See, I didn't even know that. Yeah.
You sure? Where you posted a video?
And then
there was a video like you just scan it and then you pick up and you just leave and it charges.
Yeah, that and Amazon doing it. So yeah, and I mean, Walmart got the self checkout. So they got one. You see, they have one person there, and it'd be like what 10 registers. Yeah. So the writing's on the wall. You know. The other type of robot now. This is big. Is sex robots. This you begin to see this creep on the internet now. This is going on now. They were saying how in Europe they had a sex robot brothel where you could go pay and have sex with a sex robot, and they said that they broke the robots because there was so many people coming in there and running through the robot, and the robots got broke. They couldn't keep up with demand.
Yeah, that's the
and what I'm telling you, this is gonna trip on this. This is on what I'm showing you now. We're gonna get deeper, and this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is what's going on now, okay? But what we getting ready to get into in this is you're gonna see where this is really going. All right. It says pedophiles to be given child sex bots to prevent them from attacking children. Children's sex bots could curb pedophilia, prevent real children from being harmed. They said the children's sex robots are one of the big sellers. Okay? This is just we're just on the tip with this thing. Like, people gonna just blow their minds with this new technology coming out. Because the word hasn't even got out on these things yet. So now not only it's moved from you just looking at porn on the internet. Now
where would you say this is at where they're selling this at? Is this in America, China?
Yeah. All worldwide. But China's making a lot of them. Okay. But companies here are making them. And it's big business. Okay? So now what we're going to move into here now is genetic engineering. Okay? And CRISPR. Me and my wife, I was showing her a video on this last night. This is big. Genetic engineering has been around. And if you don't know, your genetics are what kind of make up who you are. They're the code of all your traits. You know, I'm tall, you short, you susceptible to this disease, all that stuff like that. They've been doing genetic engineering. Early in genetic engineering, what they would do is just, they couldn't directly change your engineering. What they do is shoot you with radiation. They'd shoot whatever they were trying to genetically manipulate with radiation and randomly see what would come, what would happen. Then they invented all types of advanced technology to where they could roughly manipulate some genetics, but it was like expensive. It took a lot of money, a lot of equipment, a lot of technology, a lot of science and all that. Then they discovered a molecule that they acronym that it's called CRISPR. And with this molecule, they could program the molecule, and the molecule goes in there and cleanly cuts and edits the genes. With this here, and this is recent, with this, they could do anything. Like if they want to give you, and the revolutionary thing about this is it literally puts genetic engineering in the hands of somebody who makes $150,000 or somebody like that, they could just buy the equipment and begin editing genes. It's like the equivalent of the personal computer. You know what I'm saying? It makes it affordable for the common people. And this is mind-blowing. So on the good side, in the next 10 years max, any disease you know of is going to be cured. My youngest is a diabetic. They're going to cure all that in the next couple years. In the other area, it's gonna, I know they've already done some freak show stuff. I think in one of the videos I have here, you see, because in China, they're pushing this. China's a freak show because they have no morals. They tell the people what they're pushing. They don't care what the people think. They're pushing it. A matter of fact, China's leading in genetics, at least on the surface. Because, you know, behind the scenes, you know what I'm saying, America do whatever. But in one of the videos, man, you see this pig, and the guy's walking by the pig, and he was like, man, that creeps me out. Because the pig got human eyes, and it's watching them like a human. It's like, because they can put a human brain in a pig, and they tell the pig, now when that news reporter walks in, you need to be quiet. Don't be talking to him. You know what I'm saying? But the pig's looking at him like, just watching him. You know, they show it briefly because they don't want to freak you out. All right, but check out this video. So they're going to tell you what CRISPR is.
CRISPR. It's science's potential secret weapon for treating inherited diseases like sickle cell anemia and muscular dystrophy. So, how does CRISPR work? To be specific, CRISPR is a system that guides a protein called Cas9 to cut DNA, basically editing your genes. Let's say you want to fix some faulty DNA in a genome. It's a three-step process. To make the CRISPR system go, you provide the genetic address for where the bad stuff is in the DNA. Cas9 uses that sequence to find the bad stuff. Then it starts cutting. How does this all play out? CRISPR uses a guide molecule of RNA, as many as 105 letters long, 20 of which match the target sequence in a gene to find the bad stuff. Swap out the guide RNA, and Cas9 can be directed to millions of different sites. Think of it like an itsy-bitsy tracking device. Then what? Cutting to delete. Or cutting to edit. Delete. Use CRISPR to cut a gene, which can deactivate the bad gene. Edit. CRISPR cuts, but now with a template to make a DNA repair. After the repair, you've got a fresh, clean gene. This seems pretty simple. Is CRISPR really such a big deal? Yes, it most certainly is. Consider sickle cell anemia. This disease causes crippling pain, organ failure, and premature death, all because of a single misspelled letter of DNA. Change that, and poof, goodbye sickle cell anemia. Some scientists believe CRISPR could even be used to treat diseases like muscular dystrophy, and they've already shown this works in mice. Okay, so getting the CRISPR ingredients into a human body isn't going to be easy, but scientists are working on it.
Okay, and notice the only thing they're saying is, oh yeah, this is how it's going to benefit you. It's going to fix this, it's going to fix that, it's going to fix the other. But the thing is, they're not telling you they can make a super soldier or some of the, you can't even imagine some of the stuff they could do with it. Like I admit, I can't admit, I don't know some of the stuff they will be able to do with this stuff. But this is the video I was talking about where it shows that pig looking at the dude crazy. So check it out.
Are we seeing any signs of genetic tampering in humans today?
Scientists in countries around the world are working with the tool that can edit the genes of all living organisms.
CRISPR it's certainly a game changer.
CRISPR is a tool that can alter physical traits, even life-threatening diseases.
We can use gene editing technology to let pig suffer from human disease.
There's something really, really uncomfortable about this.
You see that pig?
So for less than
Looking at him
$1,000,
crazy.
Genetically modify humans or human cells.
This gives us the power to control evolution?
Yeah, with this technology, human can do that.
The potential of this genetic editing tool is an ethical minefield that challenges the idea of life itself.
My concern is human enhancement.
Or designer humans?
Yes.
Let's do it, see what happens. You know, I've genetically modified myself with CRISPR. People say like you're playing God, and I love when people say that. I think it's so
okay.
Really.
And there's verses on that about these, and you're going to hear a lot of that later in this video. These people wanting to be God, you know what I'm saying? But that was just showing you about it. All right, so let me.
Computer.
I think increasingly we're going to start realizing that this body is not sacred. The way we are is not some kind of God-given plan. It's really a pure random accident. We take two sets of genes and we shuffle them and something comes out. Sometimes it's a wonderful product, sometimes it has a hole in the heart, sometimes it has psychosis or tendencies towards extreme anger, has addictive problems, can't concentrate, all kinds of defects. To say, oh, that's normal, that's sacred, that's good, to me is rather absurd. It's random. There's not a plan there that we're thwarting. So genetic engineering seems to be one of the most moral things we can do.
See, and that's one of these crazy scientists, you know what I'm saying? Or that was a philosopher, but what you're gonna find with these people, they hate that word. They don't like God's word. Like you'll see how hard they are against it. You know, cause you'll hear what some of them say. Okay, and this is the other thing. This will trip you out. With the genetic engineering isn't even the big thing to worry about. Like what we got, what I'm gonna show you in a little while here is what is gonna change everything. The genetic engineering is not really that big a deal. And a matter of fact, the fundings go. That what they're more interested in and more excited about is not the genetic engineering, because they said it's too slow. Okay. But just to go back on that genetic engineering, one of the other things that they'll be able to do is make people be able to live longer, or so they say. Okay. So virtual reality. I've heard of this my whole life, but computers didn't have the computing power to make it a reality. Okay. But now, because computers are faster, this year you're going to see virtual reality come on the scene in a big way. It's going to happen in a couple months this year. They're going to really start pushing it. I think virtual reality is going to kind of begin to do away with television. It's not going to ultimately spell television's end, but it will mark the beginning of the end for it. And virtual reality is just a stepping stone to something even crazier. So, but anyway, this is people's experience with virtual reality because it's so realistic. I don't think playback. I don't think it's gonna play though. Let's see. I'll try to get it to come up here. Okay. That's how real it is. He's not acting, because multiple people got on there and did the same thing, because it's so real. It freaks your mind out. So, some people are just not ready for how real it is, because it's real. It messed him up because he really thought he was falling. In your mind, it's just your nervous system responding to it. Yep.
Oh my fucking God.
See, is that real? That's virtual reality. See, it makes some people lose balance. But it's hitting what the holdup was, because Oculus Rift and stuff like that came out a couple years ago, but you needed the most high-end computer to run it. You had the computer you had to buy was over $1,000 or whatever. But now that cost is coming down, and it's more economically affordable to the masses. So you're going to see it hit the scenes in a big way. But that, and it's very, it's realistic. The other thing, which, believe it or not, what's bigger than virtual reality, and one of the things virtual reality is kind of, what's going to be used more than virtual reality is augmented reality. Augmented reality is going to do away with your cell phone. And this is augmented reality, okay? And what it is you put on some glasses and you'll be in your kitchen and you're cooking, well, boom, you could do stuff while you're moving and all that stuff. It just overlays graphics over what you're already seeing through the glasses.
Yeah, it's a movie like that, but they actually do it through your contacts, and you have like a little clicker. So you have a little thing whenever we watch a movie like that, and you press it, and anything you watch or done in the past, you go on your thing and click it, and it come up, and you can rewind back time, or what you did last Saturday.
Yep.
Right in your eye.
Yeah. And that's augmented reality, and that's possible because they talked about that technology. That technology is right around the corner. What Brother Deber was just saying is that he saw a movie where they were doing it, instead of having glasses on, they had contact lenses. And that is doable. It's going to be doable. Pokemon Go, that thing everybody was playing, was kind of a form of, kind of low-grade form of augmented reality. Okay? So, and this is a video just kind of showing augmented reality.
The current virtual reality wave. It literally kickstarted the industry with the Rift headset way back in 2012. But even Oculus doesn't believe virtual reality is the future, at least not on its own.
See, that's augmented reality.
20 or 30 years from now, I predict that instead of carrying stylish smartphones everywhere, we'll wear stylish glasses. Those glasses will offer VR, AR, and everything in between, and we'll wear them all day and use them in almost every aspect of our lives. The distinction between AR and VR will vanish.
Virtual reality is only a portion of the equation, while augmented reality represents the true endgame for most hardware manufacturers. And now that the VR industry has established itself, the worlds of augmented and virtual reality are set to collide. VR is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's expected to grow exponentially in the coming years. There are now 3 major headsets in the market: the HTC Vive, PlayStation VR, and Oculus Rift. And the second generation is rapidly approaching. This new wave of devices is set to be a palate cleanser for the industry. The coming headsets are largely standalone devices. This means they don't require high-end PCs, mobile devices, or gaming consoles to operate, and they look more stylish overall. The initial VR headsets are bulky things draped in wires, but newer models look slightly sleeker and more contained. However, they're still VR headsets. They completely block the user's view of the real world, and vice versa. This problem can't be understated. People simply won't use products in public that don't feel or look good. This has been demonstrated time and time again in the tech industry, from the success of design-obsessed companies.
So anyway, just put that on there just to show that this stuff's right around the corner, and just to prove it, here's an article. It says Magic Leap says it will ship its first augmented reality glasses in 2018. And their glasses are a lot slimmer than any of the stuff you just seen. So, like I said, it's a lot of stuff is happening now. Okay, so this is going to kind of take us into our next section. Mind controlled VR. Okay. He puts that little thing on his head and he can control what's going on in the virtual reality with his thoughts. You see where this is, the direction this is going? He's playing video games and all that. He doesn't have to move his hands or do anything. He thinks about it and does it. Okay? And that leads us to our next area, and it's EEG, which stands for electroencephalography, or, you know, I'm pretty sure I got that right, but say it 3 times fast, you know. And electroencephalography is an electrophysiological monitoring method to record electrical activity of the brain. So basically, it's measuring each time a neuron or something fires in your brain, it's an electrical signal, and they can measure that. And they have gotten very advanced with it. Another way they can do it is magnetic fields, because when electricity fires, there's magnetic fields, and they can measure it with that. And that's called magnetic encephalography. And then there's other ones, fMRI and all that stuff, where they can measure it real time. And this is what they can use to do it. You know, they put all these little these sensors on your brain, and they measure all the brain waves and stuff like that. That's one way. That's a more crude way that they can do it. And that's how they're doing it right now, to a certain extent. So what I'll do is I'll play this real quick.
My name is Jack Gallant. I'm a professor of psychology and neuroscience here at UC Berkeley, and my lab works on vision. That's our main focus is on the visual system. And vision's a really important thing to work on because humans are very visual animals. And when humans have damage to their visual system, they're really incapacitated. And natural vision is a lot like watching a movie. So essentially, we were trying to build a model that describes how your brain responds to movies. So if the external world is a certain kind of movie, we want to be able to build a dictionary that will allow us to accurately predict what the brain activity would be that would be evoked by that movie. And then given some brain activity, we want to be able to reconstruct the movie that you saw. So on the left here, we have a movie that we showed a subject in the magnet. And on the right, we have a brain. And you can see the brain activity is painted here on the side of the brain. But the brain's kind of crunched up in the skull, so it's hard to visualize. So we kind of inflate it, and then we flatten it out. And we can see a flat map of the visual cortex and the rest of the brain as the person watches the movie. The problem here for us is to translate between these movies that occur and this pattern of brain activity that occurs. And in the study we talked about in our paper, we just modeled this very back part of the brain, the early visual system, primary visual cortex. And that part of the brain responds to the little local features in the movie, little edges and colors and pieces of motion and texture. But this part of the brain doesn't know anything about what the objects are in the movie. First, we put people in the magnet for several hours, and we show them movies, and we build a model of their brain. And then in the second part, we put them back in the magnet, we show them new movies, and we measure their brain activity, and we decode their brain activity in order to reconstruct the movie. So on the left here is the movie we actually showed people, and on the right is our reconstruction. When the movie that we showed has a fairly common object like a person, our reconstructions are actually fairly accurate. But when the movie that we showed is something rarer, as you'll see in a second, like this abstract thing, then our reconstructions are coarser. Not really so much over here, I guess. I think you'll be able to use this kind of technology for communicating with people who can't communicate, like locked-in patients or people with...
Okay, and again, they always say, oh, the people who can't communicate, you know, the people who are hurt and all that stuff. But basically what they're saying is they can hook stuff up to your brain and see what you see through your brain, through reading your brain. They can see what your brain sees through your thoughts. Okay, it's mind reading. Okay?
Neurological disease.
So this is what the person actually saw, and this is what they read off their minds. Okay? Through their brain waves. And that video and what they're talking about is old. They're far more advanced. Because this here is from like 08 or 2010 or something like that. So probably by now, they can read your brain and it'll look just like that. Just by reading your brain waves. Okay? Now, we're going to get into the heavy stuff. It's direct neural interface and brain-computer interface. They can read your brain better if they put a chip in your brain. And that's what one of the things they did to this guy. They put a chip in him. And through the internet, online, they wired him to this mouse. And through his thoughts, he made that mouse tail move through the internet. So and there's a video of it. I didn't put the video on, and this is 10 years old. Okay, but he controlled that mouse through his thoughts and made the mouse tail jump. Okay? This is 10 years old. Okay? All right, so we'll watch this one. This is neural interface.
Emotive is kind of this wild technology. It's a way for you to control things with your mind. It has all sorts of new use cases, and I'm here at their offices today to get into it a little bit more.
This goes behind your ears, and so you want your hair to be out of the way.
Okay.
And so we just put this on like
on
that.
the brain crown, okay.
And then this goes behind the ear, so we'll just slide this down.
Okay. So this is my brain right now.
This is your brain right now.
Oh my gosh.
In real time.
This is wild.
It's pretty wild. And what you're seeing is the localized activity right now and the concentration of activity. So if there's a particular area that there's a huge amount of synchronization and activity, then you'll see it light up. So right now we're seeing a lot of activity there in the frontal and then parietal occipital. So parietal occipital
we have been watching this.
Yeah, so we can look at facial expressions. So we can tell if you're blinking, you're winking, looking left and right, furrowing your eyebrows, raising them in surprise, smiling, clenching your teeth because you might be nervous. So all of those things we can detect very, very easily.
Emotive has been prototyping its wireless EEG technology for the past few years. Proven in the research sector, they are now developing a consumer product for market.
So this is a really simple use case scenario where the idea is I can just will this car to drive forward just with my thoughts.
Okay. So she's controlling the car with her mind.
The way that the detections work is that you show the machine learning algorithms how you think about driving the car forward. So
right, but so I mean, when you're actually wearing it, like, and do you have to think stop?
No, I have to just try and get back out of that.
You have to just stop thinking.
Yeah, you just got to stop thinking about it and get back to some other sort of normal.
Oh, how weird!
Slot.
But anyway, it's you can control stuff with your mind now. Okay, so let's get into the real heavy stuff now. And let's see. All right, there we go.
That is just the beginning of where we are headed. Right now, scientists in laboratories around the world are developing brain chips. Now, these are chips that can be inserted into the brain, and they are wireless. And let me show you. They have actually had a monkey that broke its back. So its spinal cord was severed. The monkey was paralyzed from the waist down. But they inserted a chip in the monkey's brain, and then they inserted another chip in its lower spine. And they allowed the brain to communicate with the lower spine. As soon as they did this, the monkey could walk again. That is amazing. Totally amazing. So they could actually transmit the thoughts of the monkey wirelessly to parts of the body. But it gets even more amazing than that. So they now have, in a laboratory, monkeys with chips in their brain. And then they have an electric wheelchair. And just by thinking, just with the thought of the monkey, they can drive the wheelchair around. Think about that. If a monkey can do that, what could you do if you had that chip in your brain? They have also done experiments with monkeys with a chip in their brain and a robotic arm. And the monkey, just by thinking, can reach out and grab something like food and feed itself. That is amazing if you think about it. So the monkey's thoughts are actually able to control things outside their body. So when we start to think about the future, about where technology is headed, this is where we're going. We will have brain chips in humans. And the people who will get those brain chips first are people who suffer from severe medical conditions. So if you have a severe medical condition, like you're paralyzed from the neck down, or you suffer a brain disorder like Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease, and that brain chip can restore your quality of life, would you hesitate to get the chip? No, of course not. You would say, put the chip in my brain. So that is starting right now, these experiments. And even more interesting, scientists have done experiments with rats, and they have chips in the rat's brain. And what they did was they taught a rat how to do certain things. And when the rat did all these complex things, it could get food. Now, it took the rat weeks to learn that. Weeks. But then they hooked the rat's brain chip to the internet. And they had another rat in another city. And instantly they connected those two rats' brains. And do you know what happened? The other rat knew how to get the food right away. It didn't have to learn anything. The knowledge was transferred from one brain of a living animal to another brain. That is amazing. That opens up a world of possibilities. Because if they can do that in rats today, imagine 10 years from now what they can do in humans. And we will go there. So, mind-to-mind communication. This is something of science fiction that we all read about. But this is actually possible today, as I just showed you. So there will come a point where if we have a chip in our brain, and you out there have a chip in your brain, we can communicate. We can communicate without talking. We can communicate when you're halfway around the world. And we can exchange knowledge. So, if you look at a world where we have these chips that are connected to the internet, all of a sudden, every piece of information on the internet becomes accessible to our minds. Now, when we look back at today and we have to go to Baidu or Google and type it in, that will seem so primitive. Nobody will do that. You will just think, what knowledge do I need? And it will appear there for you to use. But it gets even weirder, stranger. Because we will not only be able to transfer knowledge, but we will be able to transfer memories. Now, so you could have an experience like skydiving, and all of a sudden you could transfer that experience to a friend. And all of a sudden they have experienced what you have experienced. It gets even weirder, because we will be living our lives as our lives. We know our lives and our memories. But you will all of a sudden have access to anybody's life who wants to make it available to you. People will open source their lives so others can download pieces of their lives and experience those things. That will be really strange. We won't know the difference between our own memory and a memory we acquired from someone else.
What?
Think about that. It gets even stranger. So, all of us are here learning at SEEBS, right? Getting EMBAs and MBAs. Well, this will be obsolete because SEEBS will literally be in the cloud. And you will just download from all the best minds in the world whatever you need to know when you need to know it. Our brains will be, we will no longer have universities as we have them today. That will change. Information will be on demand. Information will be commoditized. Knowledge will be commoditized. All of us will be smarter, have infinite amounts of storage, and infinite access to information. It will be unheard of. We will no longer be this isolated human being. We will be connected to everything.
And what he said there is VR in your head. So that's beginning to show you, and they're excited about this. Like, you know, you see, he's like, and it's great. You know, and when you hear all these scientists, they are excited about this. And me, I'm freaked out. Like, it's bad enough with the computer putting tape over the camera that's on the computer and people hacking in. Now, you going to put this junk in your head and let them hack into your head? You get what you know, you get it. You deserve whatever the heck you get. All right? But yeah, what he's talking about, it's not far-fetched. It's right. That stuff what he's talking about is right around the corner. And these scientists are working on this feverishly. Okay? And it's funny because one of these scientists was just saying how, because they know a lot of people morally aren't really with it. They know they got another group of people who are going to run to it. And they said the reason why, they said they're purposely trying not to talk about it so it could just pop on the scene quick. So they won't run into any hurdles getting it, you know, moving it forward. So they purposely, the scientists who want it the most don't even talk about it. They just work feverishly at bringing it about. Why? Because they're led by Satan and they're deceived. And they think, oh, we're creating, we're doing a good thing. You see the potential bad side of it. They can't even give you a cell phone that work right. And you gonna let these idiots put a chip in your head? You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's see this one here. All right.
This arm can do basically everything you can do with your hand.
The modular prosthetic limb, or MPL, interprets and converts signals from the body's nervous system to motion. When the MPL interacts with an object, signals from over 100 sensors send information back to the brain, creating a sense of touch.
These are very expensive. This limb costs hundreds of thousands of dollars. But at the end of the day, we really want to get this out so people can use it in everyday life.
More expensive than normal life.
So what's unique about Melissa is that we'll be able to actually feed
Okay,
back.
so they have prosthetics now that you can put on there and completely through your thoughts control it. You know, that's a reality. Okay. All right, and this is more he's going to elaborate on some of what the other guy was talking about. If it loads up. But yeah, where this is going is they can put thoughts in your head now. Like that's where they're at now. They're able, and they'll be able to do it online with chips and stuff like that. And some of these videos are old. If they're telling you they can do it, they're already doing it. And they just need you to buy off it in the mainstream, you know.
Here, okay?
All right.
So again, I'm telling you about something that you may not be familiar with, but we actually have a history of working in neurotechnology. And it turns out that in the early 2000s, neuroscientists like myself didn't even know if it was possible to read out let's say, 100 neurons of activity in real time from an awake-behaving individual. So we started in animal subjects. We said, okay, let's try these sensors out. Can we read out the signals in real time? And can we do something simple like control a robotic arm? And we showed that we could actually do that, just having the animal think about it. And once we proved out that technology, in 2005, we said, okay, we're ready to go to humans. Can we place the same technology in the human brain and restore the ability to move and even sense after you've been injured? And I'm going to show you a couple examples of this. Yes, we could do that. And we said, okay, again, this is DARPA. We try to push the limits of what's possible. We said, okay, if we can do that for movement and sensation, can we try to do something even more complex? So we went to memory in the human and said, okay, for humans with traumatic brain injury, could we restore their ability to form and recall memories? Again, direct brain interface. Now, here's one thing that may blow your mind. The kind of questions that we have to go after here are answering things like, what is a memory in your brain? Right? Have you ever thought about what a memory is, what those intricate neural firing patterns actually are, and how you need to interact with them in order to facilitate memory formation and recall? That's the scale of the problem that we're actually working on at DARPA. Again, being DARPA, we don't just stop there. We keep moving forward in our trajectory. I actually started a new program in 2013 called Subnets, thinking about the sub-networks of the brain, but for the most challenging problem of neuropsychiatry, and that's mental states. Right? Think about depression and anxiety. Think about trying to develop a direct neural interface to help people with their depression and anxiety. And again, the same questions are there. What actually is depression in the brain? What are the neurons that are involved in anxiety? Those are the kinds of things that we're ultimately going after. Okay, so we have a very long trajectory here, right? Over a decade of work in this space. And what I'm going to do next, I'm going to show you some examples of the achievements that we are able to do today, and then paint a picture for you for what the future of neurotechnology may ultimately.
All right, and what they have here is they took a guy and they actually
okay, so that's what Nathan can do. Let me show you a video of something else that Nathan can do. All right. So this is Nathan taking these cones and he's kind of building this structure. He's doing all of this just by thinking about it. You can see he's not moving his own arms. He's just producing the neural signals directly from his brain and stacking those cones. Right. So think of this, right? You're a paralyzed person being able to interact with the world in this way. It can really be transformative for you, right? You have a new way to project yourself onto the world. All right, so Nathan, it was the direct neural interface, what they can ultimately do. So that's what we can do today. What does the future look like with these kinds of technologies? Okay, so think about building with your brain. Think about changing your perspective of the world by flying over a city with a brain. So in this vignette, this person is an architect, is paralyzed, lost control of his arms. He needs a new way to communicate his ideas. So through his direct neural interface, he can connect to his drafting software, position buildings anywhere he likes, the details of the building. Maybe he can even connect to a collaborator out in the field to get a different perspective on the building. Okay? And imagine, in the future, building a skyscraper just with your brain, just with the perspective of your brain. It could be transformative. All right, so that's Nathan. The next example I'd like to show you is a person, his name is Doug. Okay, and Doug was injured 25
All right, and I'm going to skip forward.
Nowhere near the kinds of things that I'm talking about here. Again, exploring your cognitive space in this virtual world could be transformative. What if you could even connect to your friends all across the globe through your direct neural interface and kind of explore what that would actually be? Okay, so what we're doing today with Doug is just the beginning of what we think is possible in the future. Okay, so the last example that I like to give for you today is in something much more difficult. It's in that area of memory. Okay, remember, memory is a very tough concept. In this particular case, there's a person that has volunteered for our studies. This person is living with intractable epilepsy, has seizures that are uncontrollable. And part of their therapy is that they come to the clinic and they have sensors placed in and on their brain in order to try to map out where this problem is occurring. And it turns out that some of the places where those sensors are located are in the memory structures of the brain. And we ran a test where we asked the question, could we develop a direct neural interface, stimulate the brain, in order to facilitate memory formation and recall. And this is for declarative memories, memories about facts. So this is how it goes. In this particular example, the person has to recall 12 words. We know how hard it is to do something as mundane as that, right? Think of phone numbers and things like that. In this case, we do it with brain stimulation and without brain stimulation. We're going to sense its cognitive state, and when we detect that memory is low, we stimulate the brain in order to facilitate its ability to do it. So the first example is without stimulation, and let's see how good he actually does. 12 words, no stimulation. We got through 3 of them, and we've all experienced this. You know, he does the old face palm, can't get through the rest of them, right? So now we're going to do it with direct brain stimulation.
No kidding.
Got all of them. And that was a breakthrough moment for us. He said, I had a good picture in my head I could just see. It was the moment we knew that we were having an effect on his memory.
Okay, so what they showed you there is they're already doing it. They can make you learn with the computer. Okay, that's what they did. They made them memorize the words with the computer. Okay, so they're all the stuff they're talking about, and that's what they're telling you. Okay, so you can almost guarantee they already have it where, like you saw in the Matrix, he plugged that thing in the back of his head, and he was like, I know karate. You know what I'm saying? They can do that now. Okay? So like I said, this stuff is on a whole nother level. And it's called targeted neuroplasticity training. This is called neural lace. Okay, this is it's getting ready to be commercialized. So
what is Neuralink?
We'll learn about it.
Back in 2015, Professor Pedram Mozzini and Rudolph J. Nudo created a startup called Neuralink. These pair of neurotech researchers had developed a device that could potentially help people suffering from brain injuries. Investors didn't show a great deal of interest, but in 2016, a mysterious unknown investor came along with an offer to purchase the rights to the name Neuralink for tens of thousands of dollars. They sold, and that investor later turned out to be multi-billionaire Elon Musk. Fast forward to the 27th of March 2017, and Musk announces that he will be backing a new brain-computer interface venture, Neuralink. The ultimate goal of this company is to merge man with machine, fusing human intelligence with artificial intelligence to bring humanity up to a higher level of cognitive reasoning. Without this technology, Musk argues that humans will be unable to keep pace with advances in artificial intelligence, and that humans will become the intellectual equivalent of the house cat. So far, Musk has been calling this brain-computer interface technology neural lace. In essence, neural lace is an ultra-thin mesh that is implanted into the skull and forms a body of electrodes which are able to monitor brain function. It's not entirely clear at this time how far along the technology is in its development phase, but eventually, neural lace should enable humans to upload or download information directly from a computer. Just like Neo from the Matrix, in a matter of minutes you too could proclaim, I know Kung Fu.
Show me.
In order to insert neural lace, a tiny needle which contains a rolled up mesh is placed inside the skull, whereby the mesh is then injected. The mesh unravels upon injection, encompassing the brain. Gradually, the neural lace will integrate itself with the human brain, creating the perfect symbiosis between man and machine. So far, neural lace has been tested on live mice. Upon autopsy, researchers found little negative consequences associated with the insertion of this mesh-like structure. However, I'm not sure if I want to be the first human volunteer. This technology sounds amazing. The ability to hook our brains up with machines and thereby enhance human intelligence could open up whole new worlds of possibilities for our species. It could even be the catalyst for the almost mythical technological singularity. More on this at another time. Some critics are raising concerns about the ethical and real-world implications.
Okay, so I put that on there just to show you that they're pushing this thing. Like, they're working at this thing. And I mean, hey, it's coming, and it's going to be sooner than later. Okay? So I put here, this is Romans chapter 1, verse 29 through 31. It says, being filled with all unrighteousness, fornication, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, debate, deceit, malignity, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God. That's these scientists. You'll see that they hate God's word and God. And like, when all this technology really hits the scene, the only thing standing against it, yelling, pointing it out, is going to be God's word. Okay? Because you're beginning to see all this stuff is what? Targeting your brains, your memories, all that. After they hit your memories, you're conquered. They're talking about they could program your memories. You are an idiot if you get this in your head. It's like they can't stop your computer from getting viruses now. So what's to stop some cyber terrorists hacking these chips and, you know, program them to think they basketballs. That's what I'd program them with. And they just start bouncing their heads against the floor, you know. But it says haters of God, despiteful, proud, boasters. When you start listening to these scientists, you're going to see that that's how they are. And it says inventors of evil things, disobedient to parents, you know. So, but it lines up with this stuff. And this is what I put. I put, you can't fix stupid. You can only put a chip in it. And that's going to be all them people who get it. And the only chip I'm putting in my head is these chips right here. That's it. That's as far as I go with chips. You ain't putting no daggone chip in my head except some potato chips. All right? Now we get in this. We're getting into the heavy stuff now. Quantum computers. Okay? And basically what quantum computers are the next progression in computers. The first big leap with computers were the cathode ray tube computers. They were huge. And what revolutionized computers and what made it so that computers could turn into like personal computers, then laptops, then cell phones, and get ever smaller. What made that possible was a transistor. Okay? Well, the next giant leap are quantum computers. It's at the quantum level. It's at the nano level, you know? And these quantum computers are going to surpass humans in intelligence. And we're going to get into that too. But I got a video just quickly explaining roughly what they are. It's complicated. And a lot of science, like, the people in, this is the crazy thing about it. The people inventing these things don't even totally understand them. But they're inventing them. It's crazy. Okay? But we'll watch this quick video on it.
For the past 80 years, all computers have worked basically the same way, a series of electrical circuits switching between off and on, 0 and 1. But that could be about to change. Quantum computing would enable exponential jumps in computing power, turning the entire industry on its head. And according to Microsoft's research lab, it could happen in the next 10 years.
10 years?
A conventional computer uses electrical circuits as bits. A quantum computer runs on quantum bits, or qubits. Tiny particles magnetically suspended in extreme cold, just fractions of a degree above absolute zero. The idea is to keep each qubit in a state of superposition, so it's simultaneously a 1 and a 0. That allows for something researchers call a quantum speedup. With the speedup, each qubit increases computing power exponentially. With enough qubits, that power starts to grow really fast. It won't help much if you just want to check your email, but it lets researchers tackle complex problems like weather prediction or materials analysis that are still really difficult with conventional computing. Google and Microsoft are particularly interested. They've both formed quantum labs, hiring away a lot of the top scientists working on quantum computing. But that speed up isn't happening yet, or at least we haven't seen proof of it. A company called D-Wave is already making and selling quantum computers to different labs, including Google's Quantum AI lab. But a lot of researchers say the computers can't actually demonstrate a quantum speedup. That means it is a quantum computer, but it's not good at any of the things we want quantum computers to be good at. Of course, D-Wave disagrees, but it's really hard to say who's right. It's one of the weirdest things about quantum computing. It might already be here, and we just don't know it yet.
Okay, so like I said, these quantum computers, now that video might be a little old, but right now, they have this thing called quantum supremacy, and it's when the quantum computers pass the power of any normal computer. And just to tell you, the way this is going to go with these quantum computers is going to be like, here, let me put myself on the camera bigger. This is how it's going to be. It's where we're at is right here, and then we're moving across this line, learning, and it's going like this, and then it's just boom, it's going to go straight up, like the power of it. Like once they get the hang of it, it's just going to be an instant jump in computation power. And the things quantum computers can do that regular computers cannot do, I think I got a list here. Let me see if I got this list up here. Well, this is an article. Let me go forward. So these are the things a quantum computer will be able to do that regular computers can't. Artificial intelligence, cryptography, and these are reasons why they're racing with this. Is cryptography is just security coding, like protection things. Like if you want to hack into a government computer and get our national secrets, or get the codes to the nuclear weapons of our country, you'd have to hack through all types of online, like security stuff. Well, a quantum computer could do that in a second. Boom. Once they come to that level. It take our regular computers years to do it. Something that puts it into perspective, a quantum computer will be able to predict the weather. So in order to predict the weather, you got to know, hold on one sec. Just get it out by hand so you don't make it all that. Yeah, a quantum computer will begin to predict the weather because it could track, a quantum computer could track every water particle in the atmosphere. One thing they don't show you on here that a quantum computer will be able to do is track every single human on the face of the earth. Everything they're doing. That's something else a quantum computer will be able to do. It'll be able to track all your activities, all the video cameras that view you. It'll be able to track all that, okay? So they're powerful. And that's why there's a race for it, because the first country to get a true quantum computer will be able to hack into other countries' computer systems instantly and take over. That's one of the big things, okay? On top of that, all this other stuff we've been seeing, the brain-computer interfaces and all that stuff, and those server farms with all your information, those quantum computers be able to access all that quickly, okay? But we'll get more into that momentarily. Now, okay, we already watched that. So let me see. I probably covered what's on this article, but what it says, let me pull it up on here. It says, the era of quantum computers is here. And it says the outlook's cloudy. And see, these are some pictures of quantum computers right here. Okay. And one of the things they were saying in this article is when they give these quantum computers a problem to solve, there'll be no way to check whether it's wrong or right. because there will be no way to correct it, to know, because they don't have anything to check it against. So they're going to be being led by these powerful machines. Okay? All right. Let me see. So let's get back to the slide. All right. So like I said, these are some of the things they'll be able to do. That's a picture of one right there. Financial modeling, all that. Okay? Now, all that leads up to this, AI, artificial intelligence. Okay? And it says, it's been said AI will be to the 21st century what electricity was to the 20th century. Current AI is at the level of a 4-year-old. It says, some say by 2029, it will surpass all human intelligence. Okay, this is the biggest thing about everything I'm showing you today is this AI. And this is something that they don't realize. Some people realize that others don't. When you saw earlier where that guy was talking about the neural lace and the importance of getting it in order so these computers don't surpass us, that was his whole rationale, because he knows about AI. Artificial intelligence. They already have computers where they could learn. Okay? Computers with artificial intelligence is already being used right now. You use artificial intelligence today. Anytime you do a search on Google, if you ever seen these things like Siri on the phones where you talk to it and it does stuff, all that is AI and artificial intelligence. When it surpasses human beings, even these scientists don't know what's going to happen. And the thing is, right now, and this is why they're pushing with those quantum computers, because with the quantum computer, the AI will just take off. And like I said, I drew that line. It's gonna, the artificial intelligence is the key. Once that artificial intelligence takes hold, the computer's gonna learn on its own, and it's gonna bell curve. It's gonna be a curve straight up. All the scientific model, everything is showing that when this thing takes hold, it's just gonna take off, and we won't even have a clue of what it's doing or what it's gonna do. And it'll be smarter than you compared to a roach or an ant. Like that won't even be a comparison to how the computer's gonna be. And these idiot scientists are inventing this stuff and they're rushing towards it, and they don't even know what it's gonna do. And then when you look in Yah's word, things are beginning to make sense now, because and look at the year. They're saying 2029. I don't think it's going to be that long because of competition, and these people are racing for it. And I'm going to tell you this. The first country that gets it's a wrap. A lot of people think the computers will just wipe people out because they'll see them as a virus. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into this, because it's pretty. It says China and the U.S. are battling to become the world's first AI superpower. This artificial intelligence is more powerful than any weapon ever formed by man. It is way more powerful than nuclear weapons, because when you reach AI, you'll be able to take control of another country's nuclear weapons. That's the least of what you'll be able to do. And then you get these idiots putting chips in their head. That computer just controlled them. Okay, are things beginning to come into light now? It's like the Bible's beginning to make clear sense now. Because they want to get chips in your head. But yet you come in with this computer, and we're going to get more on it. You're going to have this supercomputer that does things on its own and can control you. All your what is on these servers. All the information of humanity is on these servers and these server farms. That computer's gonna instantly get access to all it. It's gonna know all your thoughts, everything. You done put a chip in your head like an idiot, and you already know that everything we make don't work out for the good.
Exactly.
So, all right. So I got an interesting little movie clip to watch. So let's watch it.
Good evening. Top story today, Irish biotech startup H+ Nano.
A new breakthrough in implantation technology might just pave the way.
Computers in the brain? Sound like science fiction? Well, not according to H+ Nano. The company has just released a medical implant that they say was more than just a merging of man and machine. This implant gives patients a Windows view into their own bodies.
H+ is giving consumers exactly what they want, and Mortal Systems has the most reliable network infrastructure.
The problem is, we have antitrust laws.
Oh, come on,
No,
this
no,
song and
I'm
dance again.
serious.
Okay.
Do you see this one day replacing doctors? If you look at our African Youth Initiative, for example, we're doing exactly that.
Well, I have just one antitrust law. I don't trust anyone who wants to stick a computer in my head, especially if they're Irish.
In other news, world tech stocks fell yet again amid
Protesters are part of a larger anti-technology movement inflamed by the recent deaths of 4 human test subjects.
These scientists need to understand that we are people, we are not their toys.
Hundreds of millions of people worldwide stood in long lines today to be the first to try out
a computer in your head. H+ Nano's long-awaited successor to the N54 medical implant has finally hit the shelves. And
Well, it may look like a hallucination, but that floating interface has everything you need, from chat to video. What if I wanted to listen to some music?
For all you grown-ups out there considering an implant,
Just swipe over to the music icon.
consider this.
4 data centers were breached this weekend,
Its creator, A,
compromising the personal information.
does not support it anymore. B, has been missing for weeks.
H+. The world is in you. You're always online. You're always connected.
You sent Brian our travel plans?
Uh-huh.
The hotel info in Santiago.
Uh-huh.
And you talked to him about the party thing?
No parties.
Like I said, I don't mind if he invites Jimmy over, but... Oh, look! These people are leaving.
Hi. Does it look like we're leaving?
My.
Baby, don't
Whatever. It's probably an electric spot anyway. Lord, it's freezing. I know I keep saying this, but if it snows while we're enjoying a Chilean summer...
Crazy.
Electric, electric, electric. No love for hydrogen. Anyway. Oh, go around us. It's not brain surgery. Oh, my God. Calm down, Mamma Mia. We're trying to find a space just like you. Jeez, what is it with these people? Lee!
I saw him.
No, you almost hit the guy. God, this weather's making everyone crazy. Oh, great. Now P4 is totally offline. We're gonna be parking in the sewers. Let's just drive. Lee, let's go.
Go.
Yeah, go. What's the problem? Oh my God. Are you kidding me? Hello? You're still watching that game on your implant. You've been watching it the whole time, haven't you?
I got the transparency set at 5%.
Oh, you are something else. You know that? It's dangerous and it's illegal as hell. Now drive. Thank you.
Come on, baby. It's double overtime, and there's not going to be any reception down there. This is gonna be some vacation.
I'm sorry I snapped. I just hate that. I tell you something and
Jules,
you just...
I got it.
Yeah, sure. Got it.
What the hell? Hey.
So yeah, that's like this mini series on YouTube that came out like maybe like 4 years ago or so, and it's called H Plus, and it's about getting that chip implant, and you've seen the AR, augmented reality, and all that. That's what they want, how they want it to culminate. So it's a good, it kind of sums up what we've been talking about. Somebody hacks it, and people start dying and everything. But it's called H Plus. I would recommend you get the ones that are in order, because the way they released it is like it skips around. So the best way is look for a playlist that has them in order. But anyway, yeah, it's a good little series. It's all right. I don't really watch too much Hollywood TV, so, you know, it didn't really hold me too much. But I thought the beginning was very interesting, especially what we're talking about. But that brings us to this, the singularity, okay? And this is when the power of machines passes men and when men merge with machine. And they call that point the singularity. A lot of people are saying it's 20 years out. Well, it's not 20 years out now. Well, yeah, about 10 years out now, you know? But it's called the singularity. And we're going to watch clips from this video where they're breaking all this stuff down, and you're going to hear what these scientists are saying, and stuff's going to make sense, because these scientists are against, some of them say they're willing to kill anybody who gets in their way of slowing down their progress with this technology they're researching. I mean, so it's like these scientists hate the Bible and Christianity and religion, particularly Christianity and the Bible, okay? And they say it, okay? So let's get into it. This is real, and this is watch this whole thing, because this documentary is good. It's called Transhumanism, Part 3, Preparing for the Singularity. Watch the whole thing. It's very informative. We're going to skip through a bunch of different parts of it. So bear with me.
Exciting and bright.
All right.
Obviously, if we're experiencing more change now in a year than we previously experienced in 1,000 years, we can propagate that trend into the future and see that a day will come when we will experience more change in an hour than we have experienced in the past 20, 30,000 years. A situation like that is unimaginable, so we call it a singularity, a place where the normal rules of modeling break down. Modern religions have anticipated the singularity by calling it the eschaton, or the end of time. Technological communities have anticipated the singularity by thinking in terms of artificial intelligences or something like that. In whatever form it takes, we seem to be on the cusp of a dramatic evolutionary leap into a deeper order of complexity than biology or biology plus culture has been able to provide. We're on the brink of something truly awesome and unknown.
So like I was saying, these scientists, and you're going to see all through this physiologists and all types of different scientists and researchers working on this stuff. They don't know what's going to happen. Like, they can't even fathom. And like he just broke down, he know the book. He said the book, and people in reading the Bible are called, say it's the end times. And he said he don't know what's going to happen. And all of them are saying they already know that these computers they're getting ready to make are going to have supremacy over everything. Okay, these people are crazy. Inventors of wicked things. And who don't you see in any of these videos? You don't see our black butts. It's them. And who trying to, and the Chinese people trying to keep up with them. Okay? So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? It's like they just can't be satisfied with just chilling in a room, you know, looking at some trees, you know, being at peace, enjoying what God laid out. No, they gotta, you'll see some of the stuff these dudes say, man. They wicked as heck. But hold on, I'll let y'all see for yourself.
Technocalypse.
The singularity I put in 2045, at that point, the non-biological intelligence that we create that year will be about 1 billion times greater than all biological human intelligence.
There are a growing number, maybe a few hundred people, who are seeing the writing on the wall that these technologies are coming this century. And they will allow humanity, if we, you know, as human beings, as a species, if we choose, and it's, you know, it's a critical concept, if we choose, we could build godlike, massively intelligent machines with capacities, oh God, trillions of times above ours. I mean, they may reach a certain level of artificial intelligence where they themselves then start redesigning themselves, right? The singularity, that idea, when a certain level, a threshold level of intelligence is reached, and then it's no longer human beings who design the next generation. They do it, and they're doing it at the speed of light, electronically. So, you know, up goes the AIQ very fast, and we just lose control. We just sit back and, you know, watch what happens, and they're the boss.
And they want this, and they're going to tell you, they'll talk about it later on in there, that you'll hear what some of them say about anybody who wants to try to stop them, because a lot of these people, like the one guy, he sees it as, hey, it's going to be able to extend his life and his enjoyment and all this stuff. So,
most limitlessly. The machines are not the problem. It's the monkeys behind the machines that need to be addressed.
We're all stupid. We don't think very well. We can't remember more than about 7 numbers in a row before our brain gives up. We have very bad short-term memories. We can't think of long chains of reasoning without forgetting where we started. That's all design defects as far as I'm concerned. So is that an enhancement to improve that, or is it repairing a defect? It doesn't really matter. We should be using technology to make ourselves better.
I am convinced that these technologies...
Okay, so you see what I'm saying? These people, they just can't be satisfied with just, hey, chilling, you know, just eat some food and chill and enjoy your family and all that. Nah, you want to accelerate the destruction. Yep. Hold on one sec. All right, so 1040. 1040.
Well, I do worry, but I'm not overly concerned about the possibility that they will race ahead of us and, if we're lucky, treat us as pets. I think more likely what's going to happen is that we will become increasingly integrated functionally with our technology, with our computers, with our robots. And rather than it being a them and us situation where they're the ruling class and we're the poor serfs underneath, I think we'll be much more integrated.
Well, that is the most tricky question.
Okay, so they don't know. You're gonna see as we just go through this real fast. You're gonna see they don't know what the heck's gonna happen, you know. But they know because they're driven by Satan, and they're Satan has manipulated them. The one thing they do know is, oh, we gotta do it. You know, they can't. It's like that apple in the garden and the knowledge. They can't resist it. You know what I'm saying?
These people have a lot of commitment, a lot of mythology, a lot of tradition and history attached to their bodies, our sacred bodies, the house of our soul.
I mean, I can imagine myself being a moderately modified cyborg. I mean, I'd nice to have my arteries cleaned out, and I'd like to have better memory capacity, and I'd like to be able to learn Chinese in 2 seconds, just by going, right? That would be great. But that to me is small beer. That's nothing in comparison to what these godlike. I deliberately use that word, godlike. Artilects could be.
Well, it's a philosophical issue as to whether.
You see? I mean, you're gonna see it. I mean, as we go through, it's like these. Wow. You see, and these are the scientists who speak out about it. The ones that aren't speaking, that are working, you don't even want to know what they're thinking. They're led straight by Satan. And you see it beginning, because what they're ushering in is the destruction of their people.
What do we do now? Humanity will become extinct, but in the sense of a pseudo-extinction, in that it is clear that if we are going to be altering our own biology and transforming ourselves, that we are going to change, and we're going to change in enormous ways, in very unforeseen ways. And that means that Homo sapiens, as we know it now, will cease to exist. But that's...
You see? and they're cool with that, you know? All right, that's 35.
Aspect of it, everything is changing about life, and it's changing increasingly rapidly.
Should we stop it? Should we sort of say, okay, AIQ, artificial intelligence quotient, at this level, we're going to legislate, perhaps even globally. That's the cutoff point. No robot, no artificial intelligence, no artilect, if you like, is allowed by law, by human law, to go beyond that. Do you think that's going to happen? I don't think that's going to happen at all.
It's Mr. Technology.
That's
Who can bring me down?
There is no...
That was ISUPK on there. They had up there giving them warning, speaking straight towards, calling them out for who they were, you know. All right, so 18. Wow. But like he said, and he knows what he's talking about, there's no way you're going to stop it now.
But I think the major reason why it's not going to stop is about half of the population will be ideologically in favor of it going on.
They want it.
That's why the so-called white man put up himself as God, saying what? If there has to be a God, I am.
We are going to become gods. Period. If you don't like it, get off. You don't have to contribute. You don't have to participate. But if you're going to interfere with me becoming God, we're going to have big trouble. Then we'll have warfare.
For one group, you'd be building gods.
He said warfare.
You know, amazing. It's awe-inspiring. It's energizing, right? It's setting a goal for humanity. There's the whole universe out there, right? You know, the big picture. And on the other hand, the potential risk of seeing the whole human species annihilated by these superior creatures who could just...
And you did what you wanted when you wanted, because you thought you were God. You tore down God's boundaries, you tore down God's rules, and you made up your own rules.
The only way you can prevent me in this 50 or is to kill me. If you kill me, I'll kill you.
I'm anticipating the most passionate war that has ever been. We're not talking about the survival of a tribe or a people or a country. We're talking about the survival of a whole species. So the passion levels will be extreme.
Okay, so you heard that, and that guy who said you have to kill him, that's a physicist. He's actively working on this stuff, and he believed it. He's committed to it. What'd he say? Unto death. Does that sound like a religion to you? Yeah, he is serious about this thing, and he said you get in his way, you're gonna die. So it's coming. And these, I keep saying, these are the people who are actually speaking on it. The ones working on it.
Humility. Species.
They're not talking.
The more I think about that versus that, the more magnificent that becomes, because its potential is just so much greater. Billions of people get wiped out on the cosmic scale as a cosmos, right? If you try to think in those, that's nothing compared to that. But if you can't see that, this is absolutely monstrous.
Okay, so they don't, he said if billions of people get wiped out, so be it. Okay? They want, I mean, you're beginning to see the mind of these people working on this stuff. These folks is crazy. Okay, led by Satan.
Resources of the earth for the human species. One species out of a billion species is using up all of the resources for its own material betterment.
One species? I'd say one race. Okay, because you know, I don't see brothers up there talking about this. I see brothers up there warning you. Okay. All right, let's see what else. We got a couple.
Critical, you're not being reverent enough.
Why is it one of my life goals to raise the alarm, you know, to try to generate this debate? And well, I don't know if it's a simple answer, but one answer is because I'm so ambivalent. See, if I were 100% cosmist, I would just quietly do my work and not say anything. Just do it, right? Because I want.
Okay, he's saying what I was talking about earlier. If he was 100% about it, he wouldn't even be on that show. You know, him particularly, but he's saying he's trying to let you know the scientists that are really into it ain't talking about it. They're pushing it forward as fast as they can because it's like a dream of theirs. Okay?
The technology to be there, and the faster it's there, less climbing time, right? So more likely that these outlets would be built quietly, and then suddenly, fait accompli, they're just there, right?
So yes, we're living in the last days.
There go Shabbat's on there warning these mugs. These are the only black folks you see on all this stuff. And they've even said there really ain't no black folks in Silicon Valley, you know? And probably they know who we are. That's probably why they don't want us out there, you know? But, all right.
I think we need to downplay the caution and move ahead faster.
The debate will heat up and rage.
There are consequences.
Jesus is coming soon.
Because we're living in the last days.
And then people take side.
When you do not want to listen to God,
the great day of the Lord is near.
And then you'll start getting...
The great day of the Lord is near. My boy Shabbat on there. You know, and this is like a high-level documentary here So, you know, and they put him on there just trying to argue the other end. But they trying to, if you watch the whole thing, they try to make him look crazy and all that.
Yeah, they mix him in with like the
Yeah.
Christians and all that. So it's like.
But even the Christians I saw here speaking pure truth. You know, and this thing, I'm telling you, this thing is coming. It's coming full speed. I'm telling you, the final approach just started about a year or two ago, and like I showed you earlier, the you know, the technology is beginning to be rolled out now for the final approach. You know, and like Shabbat said, the great day of the Lord is near. You know, and these people, you know, Satan got them working hard.
It's what we want, and it's kind of, you can see it written in the pages of magazines. It's the word of the prophet is on the subway walls here. We really, really do want to violate human limits now, and we're getting closer and closer to the ability to do it. But it's also important to realize that this is not the end of history. It doesn't solve any of our other problems. It just creates new problems that are going to intensify. And there's going to be more than one kind of post-humanity. And the mere fact that you're no longer human doesn't mean you don't have the same personality problems that you did before. It doesn't liberate you from yourself. It probably makes you more than you were before, not less. You're not going to clank and beep like RoboCop. You're just going to have new abilities and new powers. And, you know, dealing with power is troublesome. If you have more power, you have more responsibility, not less.
So there you go. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you hear them talk, it don't even sound right. Like it sounds off. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, y'all put it on my heart to just get this video out and warn folks. And you know, this might be one of the last videos you see about, you know, that's comprehensive, to just kind of getting the word out. Or probably as this stuff starts coming out more, you know, we'll be speaking on it. And when I say we, I'm talking about other Hebrews and stuff out there are gonna be getting the word out. But I'm just letting you know, you need to start watching this stuff, because look, you're gonna be out of a job soon. If you're a truck driver, your time is numbered. My wife, they're gonna probably fire. She works for a tanking company. She's a secretary, but them people can't wait to lay off all them truck drivers. And all them truck drivers is us, for the most part. You know what I'm saying? So, and like you saw that article I read earlier where it was saying like the robots in like 2025, how many years out? That's 7 years out or something like that. There's gonna be massive layoffs. And what are they gonna tell you after you get laid off and you're trying to get a job? Well, you got a chip in your head to make you smart so you can hang with these robots? You're going to be like, no. You're like, well, you ain't going to be able to keep up with these people. Well, I read books. Well, yeah, well, they just download it wirelessly into their head. So if you ain't got a chip in your head, what? You ain't going to eat. Like, you just seen it. They working on making it so you could download information into your head quick. So, and why did Elon Musk say he needed to do that? Because AI is coming on. In order to keep up, you're going to have to get neural lace in your head and all that crap. And I'm just saying that kind of lines up with, hey, you ain't going to eat unless you got the mark of the beast in you or whatever. You know, so, and that's a whole nother discussion, because I know there's a lot of interpretations on that mark of the beast in your forehead or in your hand and all that. I know there's a lot of interpretations on that. But in light of these technological advances that are right around the corner, you got to keep looking at it. Because I know some people say, oh, a chip ain't the mark of the beast. Are you going to get one in your head then? It's like, man, just go on and let me be with Jesus. If there's something that's forcing me to get it, I'll just go ahead and die. Just to be safer, you know? Exactly. Ain't nobody hacking my head, wiping my memories out. They said they could wipe your memories out. Like, do you want to get... and they're going to pressure people. You see how it's going to play out. You're going to get laid off from your job. These robots are going to take over everything, and you're going to see people getting the chip, and they can learn real fast and keep up with robots now. And then they're going to, and in order for you to eat, you know, I'm working on learning how to hunt, live off the land or something, man. But you know, it's like that, you know, this could be the mark of the beast, you know. But like I said, there's some people that I'm going to sit down and talk with about end time prophecy, have a deep in-depth discussion about it, and get total understanding before I push that hard. But it's worth considering. Keep your eyes open, question everything, question even what I'm showing you here, but question everything and get your mind right and get in this word, because like when I began seeing this stuff, I was like, whoa, you know, they're pushing heavy stuff. And think about Elon Musk, he's pushing the neural lace so you can learn from the computer. Look, I followed his career when he started the Tesla company, and he also owns the SpaceX, the rocket company. And I followed him through starting that, and everybody was telling him, oh, you can't do that, it's not going to work, this, that, and the other, blah, blah, blah. And you see them Teslas driving all around here. So how you think it's going to go with this neural lace thing that he's pushing? I'm telling you, it's all right around the corner, you know, and it ain't going to be stopped. And one other thing I want to say is with the quantum computers, I'm telling you, like the dude said in the video, when them things start learning, like when they start teaching themselves, it's just going to be blip. It's going to take off. So it ain't, they're saying, oh, it's going to be 2029 and 2045. It'll be a matter of seconds, and they surpass us. Lock down everything electronic. Your phone will start acting weird, controlling everything. You know, you got a smart lock on your door and robots delivering stuff. They could just as well have them robots come in and kill you. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever. You got cameras on everything. They can see everything you're doing. You just gonna have to learn how to live in the woods or something. You know, it just pays to really start studying the end time prophecy, because just like Shabbat said, the time, you know, the time is near. But anyway, that concludes this lesson. I hope it was informative. And like, comment, subscribe. I'm on Facebook and YouTube, Spiritual Combat. We got a Jacksonville, Florida Hebrew Israelites Facebook group. And I hope everything was informative, and have a nice day.